Yeah, no, it didn't.
Huh?
Oh, there he comes.
Yeah.
So where was that actually played at?
I don't know. Oh, I just seen
Like,
it on
did he-
I don't know. Probably in Memphis.
I mean, was it made just for this?
Yeah. Well, he did a concert.
It's more than one song?
We didn't have video recordings. You know.
Oh, well, yours turn.
Huh?
The screen doesn't turn. Doesn't full screen. You must have it locked. You have it locked?
I don't know.
You must have your screen locked.
I hate sideways stuff. But
You do it side. That's how you watch it, as like a TV sideways.
Yeah.
This way it doesn't show. Celebrating Jimmy Valiant's birthday today.
82nd birthday, Vaughn.
82nd birthday. I don't know if you guys have seen the Jimmy Valiant music video. If you haven't, you need to go check it out. Greatest ever.
Gypsy. That feels cool.
All right, we got a show to do, Rip. 2 minutes in.
Oh. Well, Jimmy's birthday was really yesterday, and we really doing the thing today because we wanted to get him on. We didn't want to wait another day. I had to hear that video. Handsome. You know he's cool.
Rip shared a message from Jimmy Valiant on Twitter. If you haven't seen it, go check it out.
Handsome.
Why don't you tell these people? Well, let's see who's on first, then you can tell the people. Dave Channel in green. Welcome, Dave. Shane Parks in green. Michael Costello, longest living member in green. Clayton in green. Look at all the green people here today. Man, too bad Gregory's not in green. You're the only one not in green, Gregory. Sorry about
Frank's
that.
Pickle Barrel ass, ladies and gentlemen.
Frank in the house. Welcome, though, Gregory.
Got to have some green out there.
Stephen Keys in the house. Seeing Rip without a beard, seems like I'm watching old shows, except Rip is less angry nowadays. You less angry, Rip?
I don't know. Did I have something to eat?
Maybe you just look angry with the beard. Can you guys hear us out there? I don't even know.
Is this thing on? We don't
know.
Mike's
doing some different thing last night, so hopefully you guys can hear us. What now in the tweet, Rip? You posted that message from Jimmy Valiant after you wished him a happy birthday. Jimmy so kindly pointed out that he was kind of got you started in the business, but then said you did the rest on your own. He was so proud of you. So why don't you share the story here on kind of how he got you hooked up with Bruiser, and I think you said Jarrett and somebody else.
Probably everybody I was ever booked with.
No, you just said 3 people.
Oh, 3 people.
Yeah, you read you posted the message.
Oh, okay.
It didn't say everybody. It said Jarrett.
He said I had that great body, baby.
Oh, I was gonna get to that. Of course, you had to put that over right away.
Yeah, because I might have forgot it.
Said you had the best body in the business for a while. He said,
yeah.
not forever, just for.
Well, I don't know what he does forever.
Just for a while. So, are you gonna tell us the start of Jimmy Valiant helping you in the wrestling business?
Well, I was working. I just quit teaching school. I had been working some shows, but I wasn't worth a shit. So Boogie Woogie he would come in and he was doing split time. He'd come in and work for Bruiser some days, and then he'd go to Jarrett's. So I was working at a Hofmeister gym in Indianapolis, and looking up there, I got that thing in. So Jimmy, we started taking my car to Louisville. Go to Louisville. We'd spend the night. Hanson would he'd spring for the food, he'd spring for the room, then we'd work then he'd drive Evansville.
I feel like you just skipped a whole bunch of that. Surely you didn't just say, there's Jimmy Valiant and got in a car with him to go to Louisville, did you?
Well, we've only got so much time.
Well, we got an hour. What else are we going to talk about? I don't have anything.
Well, it's Diamond Dan's birthday too. I got 32 Diamond Dan stories, but handsome. I remember
how did you actually meet him? Can you just tell us, like, how did
I was working on a Bruiser show. I was hanging out.
Oh, so he didn't introduce you to Bruiser like he said then?
Well, you know, Jimmy's he got a memory like me. We get confused. It gets discombobulated
So
sometimes.
you met him working for Bruiser.
Yeah, yeah. He was. I was a fan. You know, in the early '70s, or Handsome come in do the JV.
Okay, were you wrestling when you met him?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
But-
So what were you
but-
doing for Bruiser? Just there as a
No, I would.
in the crowd?
No. I knew the commissioner, right?
I don't know.
Kelsey McClure, he died at ringside at a boxing thing, and then they brought him back to life. Then he died again. So that was Kelsey McClure, the old political appointees. But anyway, I went to all Bruiser shows. So and then I started getting allowed in the back. I just shut up. As long as I shut up, it was okay. Didn't force myself, and the guys would bring me back there. So they would sort of just. I'd be hanging around the wrestlers. You'd see this guy and that guy, and I'm going, oh man, there's this guy, and there's Billy Robbins, and oh my God, there's Louis Martinez. You know, there's Bruno Sammartino. So I got to meet Bruno Sammartino and stuff like that. So it was just hang out. It was cool hanging out. I was a wrestling fan, wanted to be a wrestler, but didn't know exactly how to get in there. So I said, well, hell, I might as well go where it's at and see if I can hang out and see if I can get some help getting in here.
So who was the first person to like let you in the back? Like, how'd you ever get? You didn't.
Oh, Kelsey McClure was the Indiana Boxing and Wrestling.
How did you know him then?
Hell, I don't know. I just somehow I looked it up. So I went to his office at the state office building downtown and started BSing with him. Hell, he was sitting there with his feet up on the desk. He didn't have nothing to do. He's just busy being a bigwig. So I started BSing with him. So he started giving me tickets to all the shows and everything. He said, and then I'd bang on the back door, and then they'd let me in. If not, I'd name drop him. And then when he'd get there, he'd say, "Hey, I told you to let that boy in the back all the time." You know what I mean?
I guess.
So
that's what I'm trying to get out of you. I mean, I'm trying to.
I didn't really, you know, it ain't
I'm trying to figure out here.
I think something I really relived and stuff. You know, it's just.
Well, I can tell you exactly I mean,
another day in the life of.
I can tell you exactly.
It's like Von Leitner's taking the first chop in the Battle Royal. And
right. I can tell you exactly how it all went down.
Okay.
I mean,
I remember coming back. Jimmy, I wasn't used to driving so much, so I'd be nodding off like Jimmy would do when he didn't want to drive. He'd be nodding off and acting like he was sleeping and stuff. So he got in my Pinto one night, had to go through the stick shift and everything, and I looked up. He was going about 90 miles an hour in fourth gear of a 5-speed. You know, so he's going.
So when you met him at Hoffmeister's, you'd already met him before.
Yeah, but what he had a different girlfriend there, Felicia LeMay. You know, Felicia was a local girl working at the club, and she'd drop Jimmy off there, and then Jimmy would come in and do the 40-minute workout, one set of everything, sort of just pumping the muscles, because he already had the base. He just had to get a little blood going. He said,
I know.
Well, you're letting them know.
You told them. I'm trying to get to the good stuff. You just refuse to.
What's the good stuff?
Like how you got in, like the locker room, in the business. Like, what did Valiant really do? Did he really take you to Jarrett for the first time? Like, did he say, hey, I'm bringing down Mark Shira or Rip Rogers or whoever? Like, did he get you in with Jarrett?
No.
Did he get you in with anybody?
No.
Okay.
But I was just putting him over, so I didn't want to say that.
Well, shit.
I didn't want him. Hey, we get on, we Valley. No, Marcus, we did this, we did that. Yeah, I remember when
he should have just made up a story. Yeah, he took me down. He took me down to Louisville Gardens.
Can we start off?
Jerry Jarrett. You could have lied about the whole thing instead of just talking about stories that you could have just said, yeah, he introduced me to Dick the Bruiser. First time I got in the back, it was because of Jimmy Valiant. Jimmy Valiant.
JV did
I met him at Hoffmeister's gym. Said, hey, man, I've been a big fan of yours. I used to go to the matches all the time.
I was in the Handsome Jimmy Valiant fan club.
All right, let me tell the story then, okay?
Okay.
I was a huge wrestling fan. I was in the Jimmy Valiant wrestling fan club.
Mary Lee Neitzel.
I'm telling the story.
Well, I was telling who was the secretary of that.
I'm telling the story.
And she signed the card.
Then I went to all the matches all the time. I knew he worked out at Hoffmeister Gym, so I started working out there too.
No, I worked there.
I'm telling the story you should have told.
Oh, okay. No, I was working out.
And so then,
and Jimmy,
then I go up to him and said, "Hey, Jimmy, I've been going to all your matches and been really trying to get in the wrestling business. Is there anything you can do for me? Any advice?" He's like, "Yeah, meet me here and I'll get you in the back, Ripper. I'll get you back and I'll let you meet Dick the Bruiser himself. I'll get your foot in the door." Then he did, and I met Dick the Bruiser. I got booked with him. And then Jimmy said, "Hey, if you pick me up at Hoffmeister's Gym, I'll take you down to Louisville, Kentucky. What's it called? I can't even think of the name of it. The Louisville Gardens, baby.
Louisville
and I'll
Gardens.
introduce you to Jerry Jarrett himself." And he did. I got in the car. I drove my Pinto all the way down and met Jerry Jarrett. See, that's all you had to say on all that if you didn't want to throw him under the bus.
No, but I didn't do it. But that
What's
didn't
the
happen.
Who
I
gives a shit?
So you should have just I should have Dusty Road it and just made everything up, right? Oh, okay. Well,
If you didn't want to say,
well,
if you didn't want to throw him under the bus.
yeah. We'll moonwalk backwards on this. Did I say it was Diamond Dan's? See, there's me and Jimmy right there. That was taken in Bedford, Indiana.
Look at that picture.
Yeah, I got my Union City, the gym in Union City, Indiana, when I was teaching school there.
Now, why was that? And who was this for? Like that was
Dick the Bruiser,
running Bedford.
Yeah, It's
Man, that's awesome. There, man.
I remember his promo, LA International Airport. Cha. Doing the. I remember on one TBS thing, I broke Keenan. I got him laughing, imitating Jimmy during the match.
That's awesome. We got a super chat coming in. Bobby Lopez set the pace early today. Thanks, Bobby Lopez. Did you ever have to wrestle a drunk Tommy Rich?
I'll tell you. Here's a nice little story. I didn't have to. He was passed out. We was in Huntington, West Virginia. I was supposed to wrestle Tommy, and we couldn't wake him up, so I wrestled Buzz Sawyer instead.
That is awesome.
Because I was supposed to be working him on tour, and he had a few to drink or whatever. I said, don't bother him because he'll be drunk, and then the match will be the shit. So Buzz, can you let's me and you work?
Okay. Did you ever wrestle him besides then?
Oh hell, I used to be I programmed with him.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Was he drunk when he did TV matches? You think?
I don't think not TV matches, no. But when we was on the house shows and Ole wasn't there, woo.
So I got a little Tommy Rich story. It's all right. Might as well tell it. Got time. Me and Rip and the legendary Dylan Bostic went down to somewhere in Tennessee, did some TV tapings or whatever for Rock Parsons. Did the big 6-man main event with me, Dylan, and somebody against Tommy Rich and the American Gladiator, whatever his name is. What's his name? Top Gun.
He had the belt.
Somebody else. So Tommy was out selling gimmicks or pictures or boozing or whatever he was doing. Whatever he's doing the whole night. We got this big meeting in the back. Rock Parsons tells us all the rules of wrestling because he's a big rule guy trying to make it old school and stuff. No low blows. Whatever you do, no low blows during the match. Get together right before the main event goes out. Tommy calls like the first spot and says, "We do some gimmick type, something crawl underneath. I'm gonna give him a nut shot to open the match." So then I'm like, okay, so do we tell? Because of course he wasn't in there for the meeting. So I'm like, all right, do we tell him no nut shots, or do we just let it go? So we just let it go. I remember Rock was like, "Can't use that on TV. Can't use that on TV." Match was horrible, but it was a lot of fun being out there with Tommy Rich.
It was the greatest match you was in with him that night.
Oh, it was awesome. I mean, as somebody I watched growing up on TV, basically week in and week out.
God,
and then getting in the ring with him. I mean, this was just
awesome.
A couple years ago or whatever, you know.
That's awesome.
So, what the hell? He did the nut shot anyway, and Rock never said a word to him about it.
No, Rock would just shake his head like the king.
He knew who called it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh wow.
Rip, what talent did you train or work with that you thought would never be a big star, but they ended up a top guy in a promotion. Frank wants to know in green.
Well, a lot of guys, all I did was train them. And then if somebody likes you, they make you, if somebody in power likes what they see, they'll make you a star. If you ain't worth a shit and it's the guy and if it's a power guy, they make you a star anyway. They just force them down your throat.
Okay. Was there anybody that you could think of was like that?
No.
Or you were like, I don't think he'll ever make it. But
no, because I knew the skill level really had nothing to do with it. But I would always tell them to be in shape and to master that stuff, because if you're doing that, most of the older guys would like you more because you know your fundamentals. You know, a lot of the guys were just fucking assholes, but they didn't make it either.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple. I can see them.
Mm-hmm.
One was they thought he looked like a doctor or an actor on TV, like some soap opera or something. He was the shits. He wasn't even in our class very long, and he got signed at one of those tryouts. He didn't make it. I mean, he got signed and sit down there, but he wasn't around long. They figured out
that happens a lot.
Figured out real quick he
ain't worth a shit.
Couldn't wrestle. I mean, but somebody thought he looked like somebody off a soap opera or something.
Well, that's one of the most important things.
I want more of Chopper agitatedly taking over Hustler stories. Okay, you can do that, Michael Costello. If he won't give us the answers, I'll just answer.
You just make them. You'll make the story up.
Sure. Oh yeah, they said I saw on Facebook Ben Hameen's in. I can't remember the promotion. Some Hall of Fame. He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Frank's Pickle Barrel Asset Rip Train Hall of Famer Ben Hameen.
Yeah.
Was a great show in upstate New York. Congratulations, Ben Hameen, on the Hall of Fame. Now, Frank, I saw some of the video. Is he a baby face now? Is he a good guy now? Is he a good guy Hall of Famer? Fill us in. What's Ben Hameen now that he's a businessman and he wants to sell all his
gimmicks?
Weed? Does he have to be nice to everybody or what?
Kiss babies and sell marijuana.
Frank said it was a hell of a promo.
Okay, it's the greatest promo that was on there that night.
Stephen Key said he'd like to see a picture of Rip and Jimmy in the Pinto. We don't have that, but closest we got.
That's Bedford, Indiana, ladies and gentlemen.
Bedford, Indiana. Home of Damon Bailey.
That's right. Damon Bailey, he would go to the Elytic shows because Elytic was real close to.
I was there.
Okay. You was everywhere, wasn't you?
I was everywhere, yeah. I was healing on him at one of the shows.
Did you really?
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
All right.
Nobody else knew who he was. None of the wrestlers knew who he was.
I did.
Yeah.
Oh, my brother's calling. Great.
FaceTime. See what he wants.
Okay.
Tell him you're live on the air.
Yeah, I'm live on the air on my podcast. Okay. That's my brother Greg. FaceTime video of me. Got
any good Rip Rogers stories for us? Live on the air.
Hey, I can self-incriminate myself. It's all right. Okay.
How many Hall of Famers has Rip trained? You don't keep track of that shit, do you?
No.
No. Let's see. How did you beat the Poffos, and what style did they teach you? What did Ruddy Rose teach you? Any stories you can tell on him?
Let's see.
Shane Parks in the house in green.
Okay. The first time, well, you asked about Poffos, right? First?
Yeah, Shane did. Yep. How did you meet the Poffos?
Okay. This old Carney promoter, Don Pruitt, he was a hell of a Carney guy. And he lived in Indianapolis, and he'd run some shows. Right, and he got me booked the Christmas Spectacular in 1977, and I was Lanny Poffos' tag team partner for Nick Goulas. So I met Lanny then, and then we swapped numbers. And then Paul Christie told me that the Poffos were going to run the Maritimes. Rene Dupre's dad. territory in the Maritimes, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick. So he gave me Randy's number. So I called Randy on the phone. Me and the bounty hunter, Jack Kruger, we talked our way into working the seasonal territory at the Maritimes. And hell, I was pretty much married to Randy all the time. I was the world's worst baby face. And he'd pull 40 minutes out of me every night, and I couldn't do 2-3 things. I was the total shits. But then after that, then Randy got me booked back with Nick Goulas, and I ended up tagging with Randy. So I learned a lot with him. And then his girlfriend just happened to, anyway, she left abruptly, and all of a sudden me and him was roommates. It started out in the apartment in Nashville.
So how do you think, I mean, I'm sure Randy, you know, he'd already been in and around the business and met a bunch of wrestlers and things like that. Why do you think it was like you that ended up clicking with Randy and lived with him and got into business with him and did so much with him? I'm sure he'd met tons of other wrestlers probably before you, even young in his career.
Well, he was close with Christie. Christie was sort of like a mentor. They would work.
Paul Christie?
Yeah, he was one of the business partners with Lanny and Randy's dad, Angelo, when they ran the old Paducah territory years ago. When Lanny first started out, when he graduated from high school and stuff, they ran Western Kentucky and Southern Illinois. But yeah, I hooked up with Randy, and then Randy got me rebooting, and I was partners with him some when he had the big bloody feud with Dutch Mantel in Nashville. And Gypsy Joe, Tojo, Mexican Angel, all the top stars were there. Kenny Lucas. It was a good learning experience. As Nick Goulas told me, he said, "I'd like to make you some money, but if I paid you what you was worth, I wouldn't pay you nothing."
So what style would you think that they taught or did, or
that was anything they did was above me, because I knew nothing. It wasn't like I went to a wrestling school. I didn't know anything.
Right. So what did they? That's what he's asking. What did they teach you?
They would. They'd say, "We're going to work on this tonight, and whatever we do, we would add one each night." So about 4 months in, I've gotten a whole lot better. Still the shits, but a whole lot better. And they knew what I could do. So as a worker, that's what you're supposed to do: is highlight. Only do what the guy can do, and don't make him look like an idiot, because then he makes you all look like idiots. But I was the world's worst the king of rottenology.
Shane said he did go watch the Portland territory. I'd put him on that. So make sure you go check out all those territory videos that we have. Anything else on Buddy Rose? I mean, I know we've talked a lot, and you did a whole video on him and things like that. Anything else that Buddy taught you that you can remember that maybe?
Well, Buddy was the first. He was the first guy that he showed you when you walked in, and he had that big screen TV, and he had all of his matches on tapes. And since he started, that showed you how you could learn from that, and you could see from that, and you could see how 1 led to 2, 2 led to 3, 3 led to 4. And when he would tell you to do something, and he can explain it to you and show it to you on video, and just keep knocking it in your head, and you started to understand it a little bit. But Buddy Rose was just great. Everything was called in the ring. He was just so talented, and he was a high school dropout. Went to Vern Gagne's wrestling school. And they beat him up, and he quit. And he went back to the ring crew, and Wahoo sort of smartened him up and said, "If you just gut it out, they'll help you." So Buddy just took all the shit. They beat him up. They had Billy Robinson. They had the Iron Sheik stretching him, hurting him and everything. He just gutted it out and finally said, "Okay, now we're going to teach you. Forget that other shit. All that other shit, forget it. We don't need to fucking hurt. We need to fucking help you now."
It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Buddy Rose quit. Speaking of Iron Sheik, I was watching Undertaker. He's got a YouTube show.
Uh-huh.
And man, he tells all on there. Like, you don't got to worry about you trying to kayfabe shit.
Well, he's the Undertaker. That's different.
I'm just saying, everybody knows that all you got to do is watch some of these other people, and every secret or story or whatever pretty much is exposed.
You're right. You're right on that. But still, I'm a little bit older than them.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit older than them, and you feel bad about doing it, and you feel sort of guilty about doing it. Because I remember the guys said, you could kill me before I betray my business. Because all the guys that made livings with this, I'm making a living, other people are, and if I go around doing this stupid shit, the business will go down, and all these and instead of 800 guys having jobs in the States, it'll be 150, about like it is now. But
he was telling a story. One of his first road trips was him, Iron Sheik. God, I can't remember the other two, but he ended up rooming with Iron Sheik. They were out on the road for like 2 weeks, and it was him and Iron Sheik and two other guys in the car. Him and Iron Sheik in the hotel. Said like the first night or one of the nights they had been out, and Undertaker went back hotel like 12:31, the room, whatever. Said she came in about a half hour later, 1:30ish. He said he wakes up, it was just freezing. He wakes
got
up,
the window open.
He's got the door open,
Okay,
and he's out on the balcony doing squats
okay.
at 3:30 in the morning. Said steam's just rolling off of him. Freezing outside, doing squats. And Undertaker was like, can we, shut the door? Like, trying to get some sleep. He said, he was a lot older still, older, been in the business a lot longer, whatever. So he was nice, but trying to tell Sheik he needed to get some sleep because they were getting up early and go to the next town or whatever. So then he wakes up at like 5 a.m. and the Sheik's in there with the blow dryer on. He's like, what the hell can he be blow drying? He has no hair. He shaves his body. Said he was doing his mustache.
Oh, it's awesome.
Like at 5 a.m. Said still hadn't been to bed. Just doing.
That's
never
awesome.
Went to bed. Did squats and then showered and blow dried his mustache.
Sheik's just total gimmick. Bodyguard, Shah of Iran, shooter, Olympian. You didn't fucking medal, Sheik. Okay, fave that. Sheik. Oh.
Any stories on an Ox Baker rip?
Too many stories on Ox Baker. The best thing about Ox Baker is I nicked his gimmick of painting my toenails. Remember when my toenails were red?
Yeah. I remember Ox Baker's toenails.
Yeah. Then he had that, Ox had that great voice, that great look. Then the bell rang. But Mr. Fantastic, hey, he had the camp, he had the house in Cole Camp, Missouri. He says Sedalia, but he wasn't in Sedalia. He was a couple of miles out of it. There was his house, his sister's house, and I think his brother's. There was 3 identical houses in a row, and it was the Baker clan. Foxy Oxy.
Almost like Steel Acres.
Yeah, yeah. It was Baker Acres.
Baker Acres.
Baker Acres. I tell you about Foxy Oxy. I wrestled Bruiser Brody 4 straight weeks in Kansas City. And then I wrestled fucking Ox for 4 weeks, and we outdrew him. Me and
oh really?
And yeah, Oxy could get him in the building, and Brody was busy not selling. Yeah, so and then Ox would do nothing but sell. So I'd make him the underdog. He would sell great. So I love working with Foxy Oxy. You knew there was going to be no violence in that match. I'd give you a personal guarantee for that.
Oh yeah, he didn't do that.
What's that?
Violence.
Ox?
Yeah.
No, that was a joke. That was a rib.
Oh, I thought maybe he really didn't.
No.
So he was violent.
Yeah.
I've seen some of his old matches. Some of them didn't look like
he
did much of anything.
Well, no, that's why you get over by not doing nothing.
Right. So I didn't really think they probably were violent.
No, they weren't. But he was lucky enough to have 2 guys die from his heart punch. It might have been a couple of days later and whatever.
Lucky enough to have 2 guys die.
Well, I mean, he played off that, right?
Oh, yeah.
So that was awesome.
Yeah, Widowmaker. It's not really that we're on Thursdays. It's just we've been Thursday a couple times in the last month or so because of me. So we're not really on Thursdays. We're concrete, concrete show, concrete time. Sometimes it's just not concrete, like
shit happens.
like today. So
yeah, you know.
typically Fridays at 11.
Mhm.
If we were really to say when's your show,
Usually Friday at 11.
we'd say Friday at 11.
It wasn't concrete, but it's cement, so
Just
it's
does-
sort of like concrete.
It just doesn't happen all the time.
Where's Opinion Havers? He here today? or
Not
is he-
here. He's probably waiting on tomorrow.
He probably is. He probably didn't get up because of the time difference and get to see all the advanced.
Well, he actually gets an hour more sleep. He's probably just on the wrong day.
Oh, okay.
Because typically we're at 11 Eastern. Today we were at 12 Eastern. So he would get more sleep.
So tomorrow he could wake up and be ready to go, but we've already went.
I'm sure a lot of people wake up ready for the show tomorrow. George Jets is not on here. Some other ones, I'm sure it'll happen too. But you know,
Make it happen, Captain.
shit happens. At least we're on today. Oh, look at that Opinion Haver right on
there.
cue.
Did I hear concrete? Yeah. Both of them's here. Opinion and Haver.
Haver, get it right.
Yeah, Haver.
Rip, did you ever have to referee a match?
No.
Never ever. Huh?
No.
Wow.
That's the best thing to do is to get in there and see it all up close and learn and be.
That was his follow-up question. If you did it give you a new perspective on working a match?
Oh, it would, because guys would get in there and I'd have them referee. They said, man, it's completely different when we're in there like that. I said, yeah, I didn't even get to do that.
Yeah, we did that in your class a lot.
Okay.
You'd always have somebody get in ref. I love reffing. I thought it was fun.
Yeah. And you never know.
I didn't have to worry about wrestling.
Yeah. Well, a lot of guys got jobs full-time refereeing.
Well, sure, yeah.
So what the hell, right?
Package.
Rump
Shaker.
Yeah, rump thump.
Whatever his name is. Thump and rump
Yeah.
thump. He's in AEW right now.
Yeah.
Was Goose was a referee, wasn't
Goose Mahoney?
he? Yeah, didn't he ref? Yeah, he ref. Chris K refed.
Yeah.
He was up SmackDown a long time.
Okay.
And he was a great wrestler. Like he was the one, you know how you always use like Power and Beast in class. Nick always used Chris K and Static D. I'm trying to think what he was on TV. Remember he was on TV with the little like tuxedo looking gimmick. He was on with Ernest the Cat Miller.
I can't remember.
Yeah. You remember Static D?
I remember
Damon Thompson.
Oh yeah, well I seen him remember we seen him at the Louisville thing down there for Dave Marquez.
I've never been to that.
Okay. He's been to a couple of them there because he got the big family now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Static D. See, I remember, I can't remember who Static D was until I just put it together then, and probably about 42 seconds late.
Yeah, he was really good in the ring.
Oh yeah.
What else we got here? Chopper Von Lila's with
Mo Green, yeah. See, Opinion and
Mo
Haver.
Green, that's right. Yeah, Mo Green, man, you ought to run this show, Opinion Haver.
Opinion Haver, he
knows his wrestling.
Yeah, he'd be the army of none. I'm one, not none, whatever.
Any gimmick match you or Rip worked that you hated?
Any gimmick match?
I wasn't a big fan of cage matches. I only had a few, but I didn't really like cage matches. I don't know why.
Well, there's got to be a different psychology to them.
Maybe I just didn't get it. Maybe I wasn't any good at them.
Well, you're not fun. You can get hurt in them real good.
I didn't think I would. I've only done one ladder match.
I
didn't think I would like it, but I ended up probably one of my favorite matches ever, I would say.
Yeah, I had a ladder match against the Hardy Boys.
Yeah, how about that? Rip and the Hardy Boys in a ladder match. Was that with who was your partner?
Probably Jason Lee.
Yeah.
Because I say, Jason, take every bump in the world, and I'll take one off the ladder towards the end or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But
was there anything else was there any of them you didn't really like to do?
No, because it was all a learning experience. I'm thinking I'll learn from this one. Next time I do it, I'll learn some things to do, but mostly what not to do. Because usually you'll get hurt in something like that.
I wasn't a big fan of all the weapons either. I just don't like getting hit by a bunch of shit.
No,
really.
I can't blame you for that.
That strip club show that I think Susio put on, that tornado,
the Texas
Royal
Tornado,
Rumble, you bring your own weapon. was like, oh yeah, that's cool. And then I didn't even take a weapon. And then I was like, man, I'm getting in here with a bunch of people with weapons. This is pretty stupid.
Yeah.
And I don't even have one. Mo Green, yeah, thanks. Let's see. Young Mighty Joe wants to know some of Rip's favorite heel tag teams and why.
Favorite heel tag teams? I like the old Grahams from the 1950s.
Yep.
Which was Eddie Graham and the so-called cousin from the West Coast. They had the bleach blonde hair. They were flamboyant. They were big in Madison. They were big in Madison Square Garden. I like the Grahams a lot.
Yeah.
I like Bruiser and Crusher as baby faces. I'd seen them work as heels, but I was a mark. I said, "Oh, they're not as cool then," because all of a sudden
back then it wasn't the cool heel like today.
No, there wasn't no cool heels then.
Carl Potter might be new to the show. I don't know. He's got a question. Did you ever work for Dale TNT Man?
Shoot, I went to Dale TNT, the Dale TNT
tour, man.
The tours. We'd have 2 girls, 2 midgets, me, Dale Man, and 1 other match. So we'd have 4 matches, and we'd all come back together in the Battle Royal. Do the same thing every night. And Dale Man made a lot. He'd go to small towns, and he just papered the shit out of that son of a bitch. And he was just a carny-like promoter. And we draw 800-900 people, something in small towns. This is going to, let's see, North Dakota, South Dakota, Arizona, Nevada. And all I did is sit back and drive the ring truck.
You know where else you went? Seymour.
The Dale T and Dale.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we use his. We
Seymour.
His
You
ring,
guys
didn't
did
we?
that stuff in Seymour.
Okay.
I saw Dale TNT Man getting taken care of in the car in the parking lot
Well,
after
Dale,
ring setup.
Yeah, Dale was good at that.
Just having to walk out the door.
It depends what girl wrestler was working that.
There
week, right?
it was, right the front seat.
He was pretty. I think he led the league in getting married.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he had a bunch of them, and they was all teenagers. So he was over with me.
Now, didn't he shoot somebody or something?
Yeah, well, yeah. He shot one guy right between the eyes. The guy come in bitching about something. So Dale, I think he had his he was a deputy sheriff or something. Because so
he didn't get in trouble.
Oh hell no! He just like bam. And this kid and he kept doing his boots again. Just went back to untying his boots. I said, "Damn, let me out of here."
Rick Martel's brother and Gunkel were the people who died from the heart punch.
Ray Gunkel and
Rick Martel's brother? I didn't know.
Oh, he had 3 of them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Frenchie. There's Mad Dog Martel. Yeah, Rick Martel was from a wrestling family. That's why he was so good. And they'd all come from Montreal. So Montreal used to be a territory years ago just by itself. So that was a great wrestling town. They had a lot of riots in there. So that was always a cool one. You see it in the wrestling magazine.
Frankson Green, he always gets this show confused with a wrestling show or a sex show, I mean.
Yeah.
So there's your question, Rip.
Wife's a little bitch today. You recommend I give her a doggy, 69er missionary, or backdoor? Hell, give it all to her.
I knew that's the answer you were going to say.
Give it all to her.
I knew it.
I bet you can't make it through 2 of them. I bet you'd be talking dirty, put the 1 knuckle up you and everything.
What order would you go in?
Let me see. I want the most exciting first because you might not make the second one. Well, I'll catch you next week on this one.
Or maybe you start the least exciting to make sure you make it to the last one.
No, because I might
then you do them all.
Get my 10-minute time limit up with the first one, right?
If you don't drink more water, I might have to run the show. Yeah, I say, man. Been hydrating. Hydration's the key, they tell me. Talion said, Rip, did you ever work SD Jones?
No.
No.
A lot of Rufus R. Jones, but never SD Jones. God, I remember when I seen the WWF guys, God, they were rotten.
Oh yeah.
They were rotten. Some of the stars were okay, but the underneath matches were, as Regal would say, double ream, double reels of cotton, rotten. They were just. It was the only show in town,
right?
And they was in going up in the Eastern Seaboard. You had a lot of population there, and that's the only pro wrestling they'd keep everybody else out, right? So it was always like a mafia. This is your territory, and some of the matches, whoo, they was stinkers.
Where was the ladder match with Rip and the Hardys?
It was at Louisville Gardens.
It was like an OVW, some special show, right, or something.
Yeah, yeah. I was so over. I had my T-shirt on.
I remember. I don't. How many of those shows you guys do? Because I remember one.
A lot. I think it was.
Like Kane was there once. I remember Stone Cold was there once.
I remember.
Mick Foley was there once.
I remember OVW paid Steve Austin $25,000 for one day, just to be there. But he drew it.
Yeah.
So
he was
over.
Saying how much he owed Danny Davis.
Yes.
And still charged $25,000.
Well, Danny,
I'll do it for you, Danny.
No, Danny was saying, "All right, I helped him out. He put me over this and that." And then I thought for sure he would go through the whole thing, and at the end he'd take the check and would have just tear it up and said, "No, thank you." That's what I thought. That's what I thought, because that's what I would have done.
Yeah.
But because he was already on a roll anyway.
Yeah.
So the money he was making with just his gimmick sales with WWE, my God, was millions of dollars.
Now, when we did those Six Flags shows, when WWE would send a guy, one year they sent Cena. Did those guys come for free? Do you have any idea? I was told that Cena didn't charge anything. He wanted to give back to OVW and Danny and everything.
I think they were contracted to get paid so much.
Yeah.
But I think I remember them saying that
I mean they're still wrestling. It's not like I guess free's not. I mean they're under contract.
Right.
They didn't get more.
Yeah, they were getting whatever they were supposed to get per week, whether they had one match, 10 matches, or 0 matches. And I remember them saying that Cena gave his back, which I thought he would. But I really thought all of them would, because I knew they was all going to be super rich anyway. Because the stuff and as good as we got them, they really took off on that. So,
what is your thoughts on Bulldog Cliff Lilly? Don't know him. Saw a video on YouTube of him having the ICW title. I don't know.
Bulldog Cliff Lilly, he was the first guy I ever saw run in Georgetown, Kentucky.
You don't have to.
When I was coming back from working for WWF and stopped in Georgetown and worked for him, there was Bulldog Cliff Lilly. He run out of the Georgetown place that we used to run at ICW. And then there was another group that would come out of La Follette, Tennessee. And they were all Tennessee, but there was like wrestling in the same building like 3 times a week. Sort of like that building in Jeffersonville, where a lot of promotions work across the river there. But Georgetown, Kentucky was the place to go. I'd see Bulldog Cliff Lilly. Never forget it.
Never heard of him.
Well, you weren't born yet.
Well, other people I've heard of. I didn't know.
Well, he wasn't a TV star.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else we got? Popcorn Classics in green. Did Rip show student matches in OVW? Students matches in OVW. What matches do you remember learning from, Vaughn? Student matches. Are you talking like the matches we had? We watched pretty much all our matches. Yes. I don't know. What?
Well, it's like when I had Power and Man Beast go 90 minutes at that seminar.
Well, I don't know if it's just like that.
But they were students, is what I'm saying.
I know, but he's saying did Rip show students matches? Oh, maybe he meant. Oh, I bet he's saying
like a house show.
I think he's saying, did you show us like old man? Oh yeah, he's just saying it now. Like in class would you show us old matches? I'm trying to think. I'm not sure we did. You would tell people would ask like what to watch. I feel like you would tell, go check out so and so. But I don't think we really watched old matches. We would watch all our own matches.
Yeah.
Or if we did practice matches, sometimes we would watch those, like you were talking about, Power and Beast. But no, typically not old stuff.
When we went to class, you were working every fucking minute you were in there.
We did watch tape and do promos.
But I mean, it was a long, exhausting practice.
Yeah.
And
then you got soft, though.
I got soft?
Well, after I was gone, I would come back and hang out at some of the classes. You'd sit around, just fucking tell stories for hours. You never did that shit when we were there.
We didn't?
No, you just said we bust our ass for 4 hours. No. We'd have some downtime if we watched film or do promos.
Well, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
But everybody else, they all did the same drills. So when you're chaining, doing this and getting your heat on every body part and stuff like that, you're working your balls off on that son of a bitch. Going to the kick out drills, doing all that other stuff, just trying to get you muscle memory. You don't have to think about it. Everything's right on.
John Tucker, not only a member, but also a super chatter. Appreciate that, John Tucker. Was there a secret to mixing ICW's wrestling mud?
A very, very big secret.
Really?
You needed dirt and water. And that was it. And then when we had the pictures,
dirt and water. You heard it here first, John Tucker.
Hey,
great.
When on part of the montage when Gary Rolls had the black mud all over him, we had put all the black mud all over him before we filmed the thing, right?
Yeah, somebody asked that question and we talked about it, but I don't think we ever said on there. Somebody asked why he was covered. Why was he covered? He fall in it somewhere or something? How'd that happen? You remember?
It was the night in Frankfort, Kentucky, and I think Lanny punched him. He took a big bump into the mud with extra water and extra dirt in it, so he would be as dirty as possible.
Mud.
Yeah, the mud. And then when we went in the dressing room and threw a fit and everything, I'm throwing a boot and he's yelling and screaming and everything. He put more mud and put it all over him before the camera rolled.
Thanks, John Tucker. Really appreciate that. A couple more super chats. Rip might be able to get lunch today. No, we don't have them yet. I'm saying if we do.
Okay.
Talion said, great murder story out of nowhere.
A great murder story.
Yeah, Dale Mann.
Yeah.
Just out of nowhere.
Dale Mann told me, I killed him deader than a hammer. I said, damn.
Do you have any other murder stories, Rip?
I think that's about the only one.
Only one you're going to tell today?
Yeah. I could tell about the trip when I was in the back with the two girls and Brute Burchard, and he had the crooked Snabuts, and we was having the race of who could, you know what I mean?
Was there a murder involved?
No murder involved. But murder. Somebody was killed in the back seat. Put it that way.
Shane Parks wants to. I remember Roddy Piper losing to you in Portland. That video is on YouTube, by the way. Awesome match. Crowd was just on fire in that match. Any reason for him letting you win? What do you mean letting him win? That was all. Rip's just tough, man.
I was tough, and Buddy Rose threw the chain to me.
Piper was over big time. Was he trying to help you?
Well, what it is, I was leaving, and I was coming back, and it led to a loser leave town match, and then of course I lost.
So you won to lead to the loser leave town, which you then lost?
Yes.
Okay.
If I'd have lost the first time, there ain't no reason to have a loser leave town, is there? That's when Piper went out and apologized, or he thanked all the fans for supporting him all the time he was in Portland before the last night. He said, and if this is the last time I was here, I want to thank everybody's support. And he started naming names and shit and everything, right? And people was crying and everything, thought he was going to fucking leave.
Wow.
You know, and then he sold about the whole time, and then he did a desperation small package where me and Buddy did something to him, and Buddy did the gimmick, and he turned his back and he's jumping up and down, and I went to slam in his small package, me 1, 2, 3. Buddy turns around and Piper's got his hand up, still selling, and oh my God! Anyway, it was a good time.
So that match isn't out there anywhere, is it?
No, that was a Portland special.
Man,
That was the one that was the non-televised ones.
wish that was out there. Frank says nothing tops a nun hand job. I agree with that, Frank. That's probably the
when
craziest.
she had the gimmick fingers.
Probably the craziest story maybe I've ever heard.
Gripping that thing.
John Ramsey said, "Did Rip ever wrestle Nick Bockwinkel?"
No, I was on a lot of cards with him, but I never.
So you met him before?
Yeah. So we would talk some shit, and he liked it because he was going way back in years, and I didn't have everything perfect, but I knew who the guys were, and stuff like that, because he was second generation to begin with, and he was a wrestling heel, and he was Gagne's champion for a long time, and he'd go 40, 50 minutes every night. He was really good.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Don't act like I'm an idiot. I just I didn't really watch him a ton.
Mm-hmm.
I was young too. I did watch him. I was going to ask, was he real? I know they portrayed him, to be really, really good. So was he? He was good.
Yeah, he was good in the ring. Yeah, a very, very good psychology. He knew when to sell. He knew when to come back. He knew when to register. He knew when to miss. It's just all the things, the part of wrestling that's a part of being a good pro, and guys don't even talk about it. They just worried about doing like me and everybody else when they start out. We want to get our shit in just to do it because it's so much fun. We love wrestling.
Yeah, they'd bring him in Memphis, and they would. He was always,
AWA champion.
Build him up so much, all the videos and all the stuff. Me as a kid was like, man, Lawler's gonna kick this guy's ass. This guy's looks like a science professor or something instead of a wrestler. But
then Lawler'd sell the whole match pretty much. And you say, oh my God.
Shane Park said, sorry about the letting you win comment. It's fine, Shane. I was just messing with you. I think Total Pack 10 he's kind of like our new T Weasel. T Weasel's always like
no, Weasel's
the head of the tables in the house, or acknowledge me, or whatever he says.
Weasel's he's busy putting himself over all the time.
Well, T-Pack, look, Total Package 10's got his own nickname. Nicknames himself T-Pack.
Well, is he got
T-Pack in the house?
Is he in green?
He's not in green.
Well, then he needs to.
So he is like Weasel, see?
Yeah, we ought to tag team them up. T Weasel, T-Pack in the house with the Weasel.
Could be the Weasel's alias. Maybe it's his burner account. Welcome, T-Pack. Thanks for joining us today.
God, when Dan Severn got a hold of the Weasel, Trailer Park Trash did the trailer jack on the Weasel, the Seymour Punks. Wow. Memories, baby.
Did you work with Dynamite Kid and Benoit? Go to our channel. Look at Rip's matches. He's got a match or two on there with Benoit, so you can watch it on our channel. It'd be cool. What about Dynamite Kid? I don't know if I've ever heard you talk about. Wait, we might have a tag match with. Did you wrestle him?
He was no, he was
he wasn't there when you were wrestling Benoit and stuff.
Let me see. He come in after they got fired from WWE.
Oh, he would have been there before that, wouldn't he?
Who's that?
Dynamite Kid.
Oh, he was there years and years before.
But not with you?
No,
Oh.
No, I was only there for I was there like 5 months, and then I went to Japan in the Maritimes, and I come back till Christmas. And that was it.
Worst injury any of us have had?
In the ring?
Yes. I think that's what he.
Well, I never missed a match because of illness or injury.
Never, huh?
No.
Wow.
So I tore my quad. It's still torn. I broke my elbow. It still broke. You just want a pussy. If you sat out like a sissy boy, all the old guys would make fun of you. Well, this is a tough business. When you look like you're a tough guy, but you get hurt in the ring and you're just a pussy.
Well, also, back then you didn't get paid, right? Like you
Right.
had to wrestle to
Uh-huh.
make money. Like now,
Oh,
in
now,
AEW, you get hurt, you're out 8 months, you still get paid
yeah,
for 8
well,
months.
it's like,
And I'm
it's
sure
like,
WWE too.
yeah,
but-
it's like everything in every sport. It used to be the guys, you were underpaid, and now
Yep.
you're severely overpaid for doing nothing.
I mean,
But-
I don't know if these numbers are accurate, but AEW, WWE, some of these millions and millions and millions of dollars that reportedly these people are making is just unbelievable.
Well, first of all, they wouldn't pay it out unless it's there.
Yeah.
What it is
Well,
now they got
WWE wouldn't.
they got all these television deals where they're being paid to put their product
I get it. I'm just
their
saying
product on. When years and years ago, it was you put your tape on there like an infomercial, and you actually paid to get it on there, and you had to work your balls off to break even, because every week you had to produce a tape, put it on there, edit to each market and everything, and it was a lot of work.
Talion said, I just watched The Undertaker say nobody beat Roddy Piper. Huh. Send him that match. Send him that YouTube link.
Well, this was after Roddy went to New York.
Well,
yeah, but Roddy was just a god, but he would say, "Hey, let's do this." What am I going to say? Hell yeah! I said, if I'm the shits, I'm going to leave the next time anyway. It doesn't matter. But he said, no, I'll just sell for you.
Anyone get more Louisville cheeks than Vaughn? I ain't got shit down there, man. I was always a happily married man.
Yeah, you always were happily married.
Actually, I wasn't, but
oh, it sounded good, didn't it?
I don't know who's watching this, Frank.
Yeah, you never know.
Plead the
It
fifth.
could be a plant.
Plead the fifth.
Yeah, or the sixth.
What else we got? Need some questions, man. We got a few more minutes. Can't be real long today, but
yeah, okay. The main thing is happy birthday, happy 82nd birthday.
Yeah,
to the man,
Jimmy
the myth, the
Valiant,
legend,
baby.
Jimmy Valiant. The first.
Oh shit! Almost forgot. I can't believe I almost forgot this.
Oh, he got the book that he autographed. Him and Angel.
My wife. We were just talking about Jimmy's birthday. My wife almost threw this book away today. Piggy in a Blanket by Angel Valiant, Jimmy's wife. Look at this, Rip. Let me get that out of the way. This book belongs, that's my daughter, to Lila J, little Lilas. God bless, Angel Valiant. And then it's autographed down there in the bottom, the marker, the Sharpie, Jimmy Valiant autograph book.
It don't get any better than that. Don't get any better than that.
Man, wonder what my mom paid for this thing.
I don't know.
Look at it. Oh, dedicated. Dedicated with love to my first granddaughter, Gracie Williams, it says.
All right.
I love you all, Angel Valiant. Maybe I should just read this whole thing. My mom said it's not a very good book.
Oh. But she paid pretty good money for it.
She did. My mom bought everything. Everything that Jimmy Valiant was selling that day, my mom bought everything that he had. T-shirt, check.
Hey,
pictures, check. Book, check.
Hey, Jimmy come to the King's house and was dining at.
No, he didn't come out. No, he didn't come to our house.
Oh, where?
No.
Oh, okay.
Just, King went to downtown to the Oktoberfest. Remember, got that picture of him and
yeah,
King trying to bring in business to 13th floor. That's where he was set up.
Okay. Yeah, I had Jimmy at the house, my mom's house. They'd say, "Arn, half a cup of coffee," and she'd say, "More coffee, handsome Jimmy."
That is awesome.
And he'd sitting there had the legs crossed. It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, you had
half cup. I gotta stay trim. Just half a cup. And I'm thinking, what a mark.
Yeah, he told me that he really liked Rip, but Rip just cussed too much.
I just cussed too much.
Too much. He couldn't hardly take Rip's mouth.
He didn't know I was a gimmick.
I don't know that you're a gimmick.
Sure I am. Everybody's a gimmick.
John wants to know more about this mud, Rip.
The mud?
He wants more mud information. Did you bring the dirt and water and make the mud there, or did you have like a dirt and water guy?
No, we made it. It was either Crybaby did it or Emmett Couch, the referee. I think they both did it. So they had it in the ring thing because they had the girls' mud match that night. in Frankfurt. Then we had more leftover stuff in a big bucket downstairs in the dressing room was what we had. And then Gary had to have mud all over him and everything, so that was cool.
Shane Parks, a member and a big super chatter last week. One more question before he has to go back to work. Did you ever wrestle Jimmy Valiant? I saw Rip wrestle Jimmy Valiant at least once.
Was it? Let's see. I remember in Scottsburg, he come walking out. He said, "Hey, we'll walk and talk out there." As soon as he walked out the dressing room door, I took a big old garbage can, hit him from behind. Boom! He just started flopping right there.
It was so awesome. Did you ever wrestle him anywhere else?
I can't remember. I think some different spot shows.
So this was at the Scottsburg National Guard Armory.
Uh-huh.
I go with Rip. You talk about his legs crossed.
Yeah.
Jimmy's sitting there like this. Got the tattoo of a headband around his head.
Awesome.
He got some like skull in or whatever.
Yeah.
Got his little styrofoam cup.
Oh, you got that down.
And he's like, Ripper daddy. Just sitting there. He's like, no violence tonight, Ripper. No violence tonight, Ripper. And you said, no violence tonight, Jimmy. I swear, I don't remember you ever going. We set up our own table. I feel like you got a half-ass even dressed out there. I don't even remember when you ever even would have went back to the back. If you did, it was not very long at all. And it's like main event time.
We're selling.
And
action.
you go.
We ain't selling time. We're selling.
Go hide behind the door, the dressing room door. Yeah. The guy gets like the ghetto blaster, puts on Jimmy's music. He comes out like this and bang. Comes over to my gimmick table, just throws him over the gimmick table. No violence tonight, Jimmy. Oh, it was so awesome.
Got to have some fun.
Oh
God!
Just sitting there, this the whole time.
Memories, baby.
Memories.
Stuff.
Oh shit, Bobby Lopez. He's keeping this show afloat by himself today. I think somebody else might have helped out. I can't remember. Did Rip get along with Kevin Nash? Did you even know him at all, Rip? Did you talk to him ever?
Yeah, we had a 6-man tag one night.
Oh yeah.
I remember I talked about it. I said, "No, Kevin, don't get in until we start the heat because you're so big. And then you just beat them up. Whatever you can do, just beat them all up. Me and Pat Rose will take bumps and everything, but you stay strong." So he was always cool with me. That's all I can go by.
Rip or Vaughn, have you seen the African mud matches? I have not. No. I don't even know what that is. It real mud or like mud show like Jim Cornette calls them? I don't know. Do you know anything about African mud matches?
No. I guess you got to go to Africa to do them, huh?
I guess so. Rip ever beat Jesse Ventura?
Oh yeah, when I was out to Oregon, Jesse come in for a week and I arm wrestled him. And of course I lost. But he was he copied Superstar Billy Graham to a T.
Yeah.
And he had that great voice.
Yeah, he had an awesome voice.
And he made a lot of money. And hell, he was goddamn governor. He ran for president too, didn't he?
I don't know about that.
Yeah, he ran for president on some kind of gimmick ticket. He wasn't the most talented guy, but I'd watch Buddy Rose work, and Buddy could just work around him, and Jesse didn't have to do anything but threaten, and Buddy was flying.
I think big guys with charisma and can talk and body. I don't know. You don't really have to do a ton more.
There was Jesse and there was Austin. Now they all copied Superstar Billy Graham. Billy Graham was so good. He was going to be he was the WWF champion, and they made and they switched the belt. Superstar was training. He was turning babyface. He started pantomiming more, taking his stuff off, giving part of his robe to a fan and stuff. And if Vince, he could have been the Hulk Hogan of the whole time there. He would have been over so strong because he knew his gimmick. And then the Hulkster copied him too, right? He copied, hell, he was Superstar Billy Graham more than Superstar was. But Superstar Graham, Jesus Christ, he had those guns and the stuff in there. He wasn't a great worker, but you respected him so much. And he was just into so much entertainment with the bows and stuff, the hair, the strut and everything. He was just great. He was money.
Tyon said real mud. I don't know. I don't know anything about those. Widowmaker said Ventura's back at WWE. I saw that. I saw where he had a meeting or something. I don't know. Have any idea what he's doing.
He might do some video game stuff or whatever.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, the whole thing is anything where they could reach out and grab some old guys, because you might get some new fans. From the old guys might come back. Maybe they haven't watched in 20 years. So anybody with name recognition, because when we're talking about stuff, these guys, when we was younger, and then all of a sudden the fans were younger. Hell, I remember Jesse Ventura. Hell, I want to see him. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how he would really relate to today's product. Surely they're not going to bring him back as any kind of announcer, I wouldn't think, even though I loved him on commentary.
Yeah, he was great with Gorilla Monsoon. He was great with Bobby Heenan.
I think he was on with Vince for a while.
Yeah,
I think.
But he wasn't as loquacious with Vince.
Yeah. Did Manny Fernandez always lie about being a Navy SEAL? No idea. Do you know?
No, he wasn't. I thought he was something. Anyway, he was always. I'll tell you what. Whatever Manny told you, you could take it with a grain of salt. But no matter what, it was a hell of a story. So no matter what, just go with the flow. Get your mind going. Listen to what he's saying, and he could take you on a 2-hour trip and entertain you every minute there. Was it real? Don't know. Don't care. I just know I made the 2-hour trip, and he had me laughing the whole time. The first time I met him, I fucking loved him. He come into Calgary for something, and I had to do something that night. I wanted to go out with him just to hang out because I wanted to hear him tell stories.
That's awesome.
Anytime you hear about all this stuff, then all they hearing you talking, and they teasing with you, telling your story, it'll get you going. Then he'll fucking rib you. Say, oh, I got to go do something now. I go, fuck.
He said Manny claims you guys did a road trip in his Trans Am.
No, let's see. His Trans Am he left it in South Africa. Yeah.
Okay. Did you ever drive around in South Africa?
No.
Well, you did. You just said were you in a car with him at some point in time, though, right?
Or no? When we was in the van.
Oh,
yeah. Whatever the story was, it was great. I'm so old, I probably can't remember it anyway.
All right, we got to get going here.
Did you say happy birthday to Diamond Dan?
Happy birthday, Diamond Dan. He doesn't watch this show.
I told him.
Oh, you told him to?
Yeah.
Diamond Dan, you on there? Happy birthday. Diamond Dan, first time I was ever on. No, wait. Was he on with me? He was supposed to be on with Hogan. Remember? It was me and him, but then they put that other guy in it. Diamond Dan was with us that day in a tuxedo, but they used a different guy, I think, for some reason.
That was bullshit. They didn't know Diamond Dan was over.
Diamond Dan, yeah. Happy birthday, Diamond Dan. Always had the Diamond Dan hotline. Always did all the announcing at Muncie Central when Von Lilas ran wild and beat anybody and everybody.
And everybody.
Probably announced
John Cena.
Probably announced your last match when
probably
I put you out of.
You put me out of wrestling forever.
Put you out of wrestling. I would say 100%. So, happy birthday! How old is Diamond Dan? Any idea?
I think 28.
28. Go buy a shirt from Rip. ProWrestlingTees.com.
Diamond Dan, I told him happy birthday, and he was talking about getting some cake and potential BJ. And then he said, well, at least some cake. And I said, well, I can provide the other thing,
Go buy a book.
And I swallow, I told him.
Rip's book. Trying to plug your shit here, Rip.
Oh, book.
Now
Yeah,
you're going to tell a
get
homosexual sex story. I don't understand. Send Rip some money. PayPal, CoachV40,
Why do you have an arrow pointing down to my snabbits down there?
In case there's any old women on here that want to send you some money.
Oh, or young men. What the hell, right?
Go watch some of our videos. Thanks for coming out today.
Happy birthday, Jimmy Valiant. Happy birthday, D Squared. Diamond Dan.
Thanks for all the questions.
Don't get any better than that.
Thanks for the super chats.
Where's Django Fett?
Django Fett.
Django Fett.
He's going to be on here tomorrow.
He'll be on there tomorrow. Yeah. I came rolling into Memphis, TWA. Tell all the women, handsome Jimmy's on his way in his rocking. He was over.